What is going on? We are all fired up for Thursday night football. He is Marc Malusis. I am Keith Irizarry. You know who we are. It's Moose and Keith. The BettorCast Game of the Day preview is presented by Profit Exchange, America's first sports betting exchange. If you're in New Jersey, you look to Profit Exchange. And Moose, it's the Ravens at 7-3. It's the Bengals at 5-4. And there's no love lost between these two organizations.
No, there isn't. And I mean, you look at Cincinnati, they're desperate. Coming off the bad loss last week as at home is nearly, about 5.5-point favorite against Stroud and the Houston Texans. And Ravens coming off a brutal loss as well. It's a great AFC North matchup and, probably one of the better Thursday night football games we're going to see this entire year.
Couple of news and notes. You got Cincinnati losers are 5 of their last 7 games against Baltimore. And for the Ravens, you throw that word prime time in front of a lot of these games, and some teams shy away from it and struggle. Not Baltimore. 19-3 at home in primetime games. If we go all the way back to 2008. So I think there is something to be said about that. The weather should be pretty good. Maybe a chance of some rain. There are some injuries to pay attention to. T. Higgins officially out again for Cincinnati. Got to wonder if that affects their offense at all. And on the Baltimore side of things, their offense, save for last week, has been going pretty well. So you go first. Let's look at the running backs here. And Gus Edwards is someone that is mentioned often for this Baltimore Ravens running attack. Over under 47.5 rushing yards. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. Bengals can't stop the run. Devin Singletary went for north of 100 yards easy last week for the Houston Texans. And I know Stroud was throwing the ball all over the place, and it wasn't about third down conversions. They were having positive yards on early and downs as well. Baltimore's going to be able to run it tonight. I have no doubt. If there's one thing I know is that they're going to be able to run the football, and Cincinnati can't help themselves. So give me Gus Edwards over 47.5 rushing yards. It's a bad Bengals rush defense. It has been all season long.
Yeah, I'd throw in there too. If Gus Edwards gets around like 50, 55, 60 yards, I wouldn't be surprised if Keaton Mitchell gets one big run, maybe 2 big runs. He ends up around 50 or 60. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be able to run the ball well. I do think they'll be able to throw a little bit also, and it's to the safety valve. It's Mark Andrews. I saw the number at 54.5, and I said, yes, sign me up, please. We'll go over. He's topped this 55 yards in 5 of 7 games, 5 of his last 7 games, 4 catches or more in 8 of 9 games played. Why is that important? Because if he's catching the ball, there's more opportunities for yardage. I also broke down the numbers, what the Bengals are doing against tight ends. So they're allowing about 67 yards per game, the Bengals are, against tight ends. And over the last 3 weeks, they've had George Kittle go for 149, Dalton Kincaid go for 81, and 71 for Dalton Schultz. Leads me to believe that Cincinnati will give up yardage to Mark Andrews and that tight end crew.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, listen, I think, both offenses are going to be able to move the football tonight. I do. I mean, I think you've seen it with Baltimore at times. They've been terrible with big leads, a little bit of a bully defense, but they gave up yards and they gave up points to the Arizona Cardinals, and where they tightened that game up late. I understand it was a touchdown, onside kick recovery, then a field goal that made it within the spread, but still. Arizona was able to move the football. I don't think it was now. This is a different performance, and I think they're going to be, have their entire attention and focus tonight on the Cincinnati Bengals. But Bengals defense is no great shakes. They got to play the game a certain way. I think they have to play from in front. I don't know if they necessarily will tonight against the Ravens.
And a reminder, the Profit Exchange is the first U.S. sports betting exchange with the best odds compared to any sports book. You get a no-sweat first bet up to $100 on your first match wager. Offer is open only to people that are at least 21 years of age. You need to actually physically be in the state of New Jersey. When you register, we remind you, use the promo code BSN at profitbettingexchange.com or on the app. And make sure to pay attention that terms and conditions, they do apply. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.